Am I the a-hole for exposing my dad's affair partner and getting her fired by revealing she's an unmarried mother at work? My mom and I found out in September that my father had been cheating on her for at least 5 years. How do we know it was that long? He had 2 kids with her, and the oldest is 4. His affair partner is someone pretty well known. She made a name for herself for pushing Christian family values. She's been on local radio spewing hate for a lot of different people. I know someone who was her student before, and she was a real a-hole to them all, always judging them for being in a private Christian school and not being Christian enough. She left her job for a while, and I guess that's when she had the 2 kids. She started at a new school a couple of years ago, another Christian private school. When Mom and I found out who she was, we were very much in the what the category. My father wanted me to give her a chance and to not hold the affair against him and get to know his family. But since I'm 17, he couldn't force me, and I told him I wanted nothing to do with him, her or their kids. It bothered me so much that I ended up looking up the school she worked for, and I saw that they had a code of ethics for their teachers, and she violated it in 2 ways. 1 with the affair and 2 with having kids before marriage. So I anonymously contacted the school and shared that info with them, and she ended up being fired. They didn't figure out I was the one who did it until last month, when her appeal ended and she saw some of the evidence they had against her. Of course they were angry and accused me of being awful and spiteful and thought of the kids, blah blah blah. I really don't care what they think, and I love seeing that arrogant a-hole knocked off her high horse. I don't feel bad, and even if they ended up homeless and in a shelter because of it, that's not my problem. But my aunt, who I was always super close to, sided with them on that. She said what I did was incredibly spiteful, and it would have hurt the kids more than anyone if the consequences were homelessness or whatever. She told me I don't have to want anything to do with any of them, but shouldn't have gone so far. My aunt keeps saying I let my anger control me. She also said that my mom and I should focus on healing instead of revenge, but I don't see why I should let that woman get away with everything. My father is financially stable, and she was making decent money before, so if they end up struggling, that's on them. I don't regret anything. If exposing a hypocrite makes me a bad person, then so be it. So am I the a-hole for exposing my dad's affair partner and getting her fired at her work?
Here are the top comments.
Not the a-hole. These people need to start getting called out on their hypocrisy. If it costs them too bad.
Not the a-hole. They didn't think about you when they destroy your home. Tell your aunt and dad that next time they mention it.
Not the a-hole. Affair partner doesn't get to spew hate and hypocrisy without realizing that she's painted a target on her back for everyone she's hurt. She and your dad got what they deserved.
Not the a-hole. It is one thing to be a single mother and a nasty affair partner. It's a whole other thing for her to treat people like crap for the same things or less, especially kids, as she's doing worse. Looks like her hypocrisy finally got up to her, which I'm good with. Am I the a-hole for laughing off at my sister's reply to our parents' dietary recommendations? My parents are estranged to a certain degree from all 4 of their kids, which besides me 19F are 30M, 28F, and 25F. This is in response to my 25-year-old sister, we'll call her Melissa, responding to my parents' text. So PCOS runs in our family. My mom knows this, as many women from her side have had struggles with fertility, insulin resistance, or even just hair growth, like for me in areas where women typically don't grow hair. My mom and our dad would constantly criticize us for having oily hair. Another symptom of PCOS, high testosterone, can cause excess oil production, as well as struggles with sugar cravings and weight. They kicked my sister off their health insurance when she was my age, saying she can work part-time and pay for college and food medical as long as she worked smart and was humble. But she eventually got into real estate and did pretty well for herself, enough to get good doctors. I mention this because before getting a doctor who understood, she'd respond to the insecurities my parents imposed about her weight, where they'd pinch her fat, buy her aspirational sizes that didn't fit her, and tell her to always eat a quarter of any portion of what she's given at the most, no matter what, was to basically not eat. When she'd get lightheaded, my mom would tell her to drink water to fill her stomach instead of eating lunch. So despite PCOS, she did become very thin because, again, she was maybe eating 3 crackers and a bite of cheese for breakfast and lunch and would skip dinner. She finally began gaining weight and is now at a healthy weight without needing to break her spirit and energy to maintain it. But she recently made the mistake of friending my parents on Facebook, and they decided that she's the type who gains weight in her stomach first, meaning even a healthy weight. She's 5'6" and 120 pounds makes her look obese. So my dad reached out to her, exchanged pleasantries, and then sent her a few diet pill recommendations he said she can get at Walmart. Minutes pass and she sends back a link to a nursing home. It has 2.3 stars on Google, and on Yelp it's even lower, even though if you calculate the not recommended reviews it would be even lower, so they must pay Yelp to make them look better. It's the worst rated in our area. My parents were in an uproar and my mom tearfully said she was just concerned about my sister's health. But I started laughing hysterically and said it was objectively funny but didn't think Melissa would pay for a nursing home. My mom then tried to make it about me lacking accountability for my own weight. Now they're blocked by Melissa. So am I the a-hole here?
Here are the top comments.
Good on Melissa. Well played. Play stupid games. Win stupid prizes.
Definitely not the a-hole. It's hilarious how your sister expertly shut down your parents' diet pill suggestions with a nursing home recommendation. That takes some serious dedication and creativity. Kudos to her for handling the situation with humor and grace. And don't let your parents make it about your weight. They clearly have their own issues they need to work through. Keep laughing. It's the best medicine.
Am I the a-hole for calling my stepsister a life deleter after she kept calling baby deletion life delete? I 23F am pro-choice. My older stepsister, Jane, 29F, is very pro-life and often refers to baby deletion as life delete. She's married to John, 32M, who is also quite religious and against baby deletion. Jane and John follow very strict Christian values and are vocal about it. My parents, dad, and stepmom, who raised me since I was 4, are pro-choice when it comes to cases of SA, Alabama, and the life of the mother, as well as supporting D&Cs for non-baby deletion purpose. On Sunday yesterday, we were having a family brunch after we had gone to church. My parents and I are Presbyterian, and Jane and John are Baptist. When the topic of baby deletion came up because Jane and John's pastor brought it up, Jane started her usual speech about how baby deletion is life delete and how anyone who supports it is going against Christian values. I've heard this countless times, and I usually try to stay out of it to keep the peace, as do my parents. This time, though, she specifically called me out, saying I'm a disgrace to our family and to God because of my pro-choice views. She went on and on about how I'm not living according to Christian values and how disappointed she is in me, revealing I had to have a baby deletion in high school. I had a uterine fistula removed via D&C when I was 17, saying I should repent for my sin. I was tired of her holier-than-thou attitude and the constant judgment, but revealing my medical history to her husband was the last straw for me. So, in the heat of the moment, I snapped and said, "At least I'm not a life deleter by your standard, but you are," referring to the fact that Jane had a baby deletion in college, which she had confided in me a few years ago when she was drunk. Jane's face went white, and John looked shocked. He had no idea about the baby deletion. Jane stormed out of the room, and John followed, demanding answers. Now, the whole family is upset with me for exposing Jane's secret and causing a huge rift in their marriage. Jane is furious and won't speak to me. My parents are disappointed, and John is devastated. I feel bad for how things turned out, but I'm also angry that Jane keeps shaming me for my beliefs when she hasn't been honest about her past and was acting like a huge hypocrite. So am I the a-hole here?
Here are the top comments.
So it's okay for her to reveal your private medical information to family, but it's not okay for you to do the same to her? You weren't even pregnant. You needed a medical procedure commonly used for baby deletion to deal with your medical issue. She actually had a baby deletion. She ended a pregnancy.
Not the a-hole. She decided that it was okay to share your medical history, then it must be okay for you to share hers. Also, she's a hypocrite for blasting you if she has had one herself.
As a professor, I overhear lots of conversations from students before I start my lectures, and I'm not surprised anymore. Even the most religious students do things they have no problem with judging others for partaking. Just another case of, she can dish it, but can't take it. If she has no problem revealing your medical history, then she shouldn't be shocked if others give her a taste of her own medicine. Not the a-hole.